Okay, what's up guys? If you guys haven't seen my last video, I'm just saying how I'm gonna change my channel niche. If you guys haven't seen that, I'll put it up here. It's just me explaining why I'm going to change my niche and how I'm going to create videos that have to do with finance from now on. So this is a finance video, and this video is about 5 things that are making you broke. And I see this with a lot of people. I know a lot of people live this way. I'm not judging anyone who might live this way, who might not want to change. I'm just bringing up important facts that people tend to do in their life. I was there once. I was $7,000 in debt. I was at the complete bottom. I had like a 350 credit score at one point in my life. I was dirt poor. I would stress about money all the time, and I would always ask myself, like, how do I get out of this hole? So hopefully this video helps you and motivates you, and just to see things a different way. So the first thing that I want to bring up is financing a car. I see this with everyone. Everyone does it. I hate it. Not everyone does it, but most people do it. I completely hate it. It's something that I despise. I just think, especially when people say I'm buying a car to fix my credit, I don't see how that makes any sense. If you're trying to fix your credit, it means that you have a problem with debt. So why would you buy, let's say, a $30,000 car and go more in debt to try to fix your credit score? It doesn't make sense to me. What makes sense to me is I have a credit card that has, let's say, $1,000 on it. I only use that credit card for groceries and for food. Every single paycheck I paid off as soon as I get paid. So every month it's being paid in full. That is how you build your credit. Of course, there's other ways of building your credit, but the main way to build your credit is to go in a little bit of debt every single month and to pay it off in full. That's how you build the most amount of credit. Another thing is why financing a car is a bad way to stay broke or to become broke is because you just go in more debt. So that means you have to pay more bills. I'd rather pay $200 in bills when I get paid $1,000. So that $800 can go to opportunity, it can go to savings, it can go to things that I want for short-term happiness, things like that. So you want less bills, and paying for a car is just added stress. Like, you have to pay for gas, you have to pay for brakes, you have to pay for tires, you have to pay for oil changes, you have to pay for interest rates, you have to pay for the car itself, you have to pay for car insurance. So many bills for one thing that drives you around places when you can just buy a $2,000 car, as long as it's a good car, that'll do. So it doesn't make sense to me to finance a car, especially if you're financing or leasing. It doesn't make any sense because it's sucking away so much money from you. So this second thing that I'm going to bring up right now is I actually learned it in a book. It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad. This book is phenomenal. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go read that book. It's a really, really good book. So this book basically just explains in some part of the book how you have to pay yourself first. So yes, I understand how if we have a full-time job and we get paid, we don't really get paid first because we pay tax first, right? Which is unfortunate and it sucks, and I'm with you. I totally understand how tax just takes away so much of your money. From what you get from your paycheck after taxes, you need to pay yourself first. You need to do this first. This is a must. If you can't find yourself depositing a certain amount in like your savings or your investments or anything like that, then on your brokerage app or through your bank, you can set up direct deposits. So let's say every 3 weeks, like, you'll deposit $50 into your savings or into your brokerage account. So it automatically gets deposited and you don't actually have to do it yourself if you have a problem doing that. With me, I don't have a problem doing that because I changed my habit of every time I see money in my bank account that came in from anywhere, I put it first in my savings and my investments, and then I have the rest of the money to spend. It doesn't matter how much you get paid. As long as you have more income than expenses, then you can pay yourself first. You can prioritize putting, let's say, $50 in your savings and your investments every single month, and over time you'll grow the habit and it'll become a lot easier. Like, to me, it's very second nature. As soon as I get paid, I put a certain amount of money into my stock account and into my savings as soon as I get paid, and then whatever I have left is what I can spend on, let's say, plants or on a new light or a new chair for my house, right? As long as I'm paying myself first, investing my money first, then I buy all the things that make me happy. The third thing is also very, very important, is having debt will make you broke. I understand people have school loans, I understand people have car loans, mortgages, etc., etc. There is a thing called bad debt and good debt. Bad debt is, it's money that does not make you money. So let's say if I go buy a TV, once I buy a TV and I open the TV, it loses value.
Not me buying TV. It is what it is. It is what it is.
So that loses me money. Me going in debt and paying interest on my credit card, which is a lot, by the way. So now you're paying more for the TV that depreciates in value. It's just not a good way to become wealthy. Other than good debt is like, let's say like you buy like a house, for example, and like you rent that house out. That's good debt because you're gaining income from that debt. Like your debt is being paid off by someone else. That's good debt. So you don't want to go in bad debt and buy like TVs and computers when you can't afford it and you're paying interest on that. I know what you're saying. I know you're saying I can't do this because of the amount of bills I pay. I'm paying too much bills and I can't pay off all this debt, so I have to go in more debt to pay off the bills, etc., etc., etc. It's a snowball effect. I completely understand that. I was there once. My next point is going to show you how to lower your bills so you can pay off that debt. I totally understand if you're frustrated because I hated hearing what had to be done when I was in debt. I hated it. I didn't like it. I thought like I had to do it a certain way. My way was the right way. Having more expenses than income is a major problem on why you can't pay down your debt and why you go even in more debt. This is probably like the most important point of this whole video. You need to sacrifice short-term happiness. It's extremely hard. When I started to do this, it was horrible. I'm telling you, like horrible. Like I had a nice car, I had nice things, I had nice shoes, etc., etc., etc. I looked wealthy, but it's all short-term happiness. You need to get rid of all that junk. Get rid of, like, if you have stupid subscriptions, you won't believe how much people pay a month for stupid subscriptions. Like, why do you need 2 streaming services? But only have 1 streaming service. Only buy the essential foods. Don't go to Wendy's and buy dinner because you're too lazy after work. That's going to eat small amounts of money, but it adds up. But the biggest thing, the biggest bullet to bite is your mortgage. If your mortgage is taking too much money away from your paycheck, then you have a problem. You need to downsize your home, you need to live in a smaller environment or a cheaper environment, move. I know it's hard to do, but you have to do it. If you have to leave the country in order to become financially stable, then do it, right? Like I live in a very small apartment. I can't afford a bigger condo. I can't afford bigger things, but I'm not going to do that because where I live, I live beyond my means and get a lot of money in my bank account to invest, to save, to pay down debt, things like that. You need to first want to change and you need to understand you're spending too much money. If you're spending too much money, you need to figure out what you have to cut in order to grow and to grow your financials. You need more money coming in and you need to lower your debt. That is just how you get above. Now, all of that said, now this leads into buying liabilities to make yourself look rich. I did this a lot. I had a nice car. I think my car was worth like $8,000 when I was dirt poor, right? Why would I have a $8,000 car when I was dirt poor? It doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense to have such an expensive car that I can crash, someone can steal, someone can blow up, and it's gone. $8,000, gone. It's just not sustainable just to have, just so I can make people envy me or so I look a certain way. Don't buy Gucci belts just to look a certain way. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. Me having a nice car, it made me feel good about myself. Like, it made people think like, oh, like he probably has a lot of money, until you lose your job and then you're in a panic and you have no money to pay your rent and then you have nowhere to live. It's not a very good look if you're living in that nice sports car. Personally, I rather feel more comfortable and not living paycheck to paycheck than having a nice car, having a nice condo, having nice things in my house, looking rich to please others who really don't care about me. So I hope this video, it gave you some insight on how the wealthy will become wealthy. All these things are going to punish you in ways you don't want to be punished. It may look okay right now. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you lose your job, you're gonna be in a pickle. If it's hard to get a job and you lose your job, you're going to be in a pickle. So don't think so short term. Don't think about short term happiness. Don't care what others have to say about you, because in reality, they don't really care. They might care short term, but in 10 years, are they gonna really remember you as the boy who went to school in a Gucci belt? Probably not. Worry about the long term. Worry about your own personal finance. Don't try to look like something you aren't, because that is an ego and that is going to hurt your future. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys got some some value from this video, please like it. It goes a long way for the algorithm. I appreciate it. I will be posting more finance videos in the future. I love finance. I'm very passionate about it. So if you guys want to see more, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.